How's it going, guys? It's Noir back with another video. Today I want to do a video breaking down how I emulate some specific old samplers. Today I want to do the MPC 60. This is a classic sampler. You see it used in a lot of old boom bap. The MPC that I have, like the Live 2, they're all new versions of these old machines, and it's just evolved and evolved and evolved. There's a bunch of different types of machines and different brands from back in the day that I might cover as well, like the EMU or the SP1200, of course. But at the moment, I just thought I'd start with something simple, something I do like to emulate a lot, the MPC 60. When it comes to emulating old machines like this, I always look for the sample rate and the bit depth straight away. Those are the first two things that are important. So I'll quickly Google that and show you guys. As you can see here, Google's giving me a great tip here, and it's summed up pretty much everything I needed. So that's great. And it says there, sample rate is fixed at 40 kilohertz, giving an 18 kilohertz frequency response. And it actually says here as well, it's a 12-bit sample resolution. So that's the bit depth that I'm looking for. So that's excellent. We know the sample rate is at 40 kilohertz and the bit depth is 12. Easy. So now what you need to do is find a plugin that you can plug those numbers into, right? So I'm on master. I've just got two of my favorite plugins here for this sort of thing. They both have the options for sample rate and bit depth. I have the easy model and the hard model, right? I've done a plugin review for Degrader before. I'll link it in the top here. It's a very easy plugin to look at. There's not many parts to it. That's the easy version, and I'll say the hard version's Decimort. It's a little bit more complicated, and you can get a bit more in depth with Decimort. But we'll start with Degrader first. So when I pull up Degrader here, I've just got it on default. I'm not going to touch any of the filters. I'll leave them as they are. You may want to mess with them afterwards, and that's fine. It's all to taste. I'll bring the jitter down. I'll leave a little bit, maybe like 4% or something. The sample rate is the first parameter that we need to adjust. Make that 40. I know this says it's 40 hertz here, and we're working in kilohertz for the sample rate. In this situation, it's the same thing. I think they've just mislabeled it. And then we have the bit depth as well. That's 12 bits. Saturation, I would start playing the sound first and then add that. With Degrader, as I've said in the past, it gets a bit of varied results. So I would definitely add the saturation once you have the sound going so you can hear it, because I'm not a big fan of the saturation in this plugin. So first I'll play you the beat that I have in Ableton here, and then I'll turn on Degrader with what we've got so far, and you can hear that, and then I'll play with the saturation while it's going. So this is the beat I cooked up for this video. This is what it sounds like by itself, nothing on it. Kind of hard. I love the drums in this one. I just used loops. You know, I was just making something simple for this video. I still did some crazy shit with the sample. I actually reversed it. I don't do that very often. Alright, so I've just turned on Degrader. I haven't touched it apart from what we did just before. So let's play it now. You can hear the difference now. You really notice the upper mids, highs area become a lot more pronounced as soon as you start adding the lo-fi effects. That's why I love emulating these old machines. It always seems to thicken up the sound. It's something about the sample rate and the bit depth changing to match those machines. I think that's why it gave them such color back in the day, and that's why people loved them, and that's why the lo-fi sound developed around these machines, because of their warmth and their thickness that come with those low sample rates and bit depths. But yeah, that sounds good with Degrader. As I said, it gets mixed results sometimes. The saturation doesn't sound too bad at all in this case. But just be careful with Degrader. But definitely check it out if you're looking for a quick way to emulate these machines. And I'm pretty sure it's cheaper than Decimort. If it's not, we're living in a fucked up society, but but I'm pretty sure it is. And then this is the harder version to emulate these machines. So I've got it on bypass here, which is the default setting here. I should note just before I start playing with this, I'm doing it from default. There is actually an MPC 60 option in the presets that come with Decimort, and it's fine. It does a good job mimicking it as well. I'm not a big fan of the adjustments on the preamp that it makes and the output. It turns up the preamp and down the output to give it some clipping. I'm not a big fan of that, but you know, it's trying to be accurate to the machine. We might compare what I do with the preset anyways. So first, the resolution here, this is your bit depth. You just click and hold on it and then you drag up and down to change it. So we're going to go to 12. Then next we're going to change this big knob in the middle. That's your sample rate. So bring it down, you can see it in the bottom left corner there. So I've got that set to like 40,022 kilohertz or something. That's pretty close. So in theory, we should be able to play this now with it on and get some effects like the MPC 60. So let's give it a go. It's a lot more subtle than Degrader. I think that's also something to point out. Degrader is designed to degrade sounds. So in that plugin, the effect is a lot more amplified. This is meant to be a more realistic portrayal of emulation. You can see there, it says high quality bit crusher. We'll chuck on the MPC 60 preset. So I'll play it now and I'll turn it on and off. Not a huge difference, very subtle. I can definitely notice a tiny bit of change in the high end. It sort of sounds like it's a very subtle low pass and thickening up the beat a little bit. As I said, you have the easy mode, which is Degrader. You have the hard mode, which is Decimort. If you're really trying to get that sound, you can put Degrader on and you'll notice the difference straight away. If you're trying to be more realistic to the MPC 60, Decimort 2 is a great option for that. Ultimately, you're just trying to get that vibe that the MPC 60 had, and using Decimort is realistic. It doesn't change the sound a whole lot, but it's the warmth and the vibe that you're going for. Anyways, that's the video for today. That's how I like to emulate the MPC 60. Those are my two plugins that actually have the sample rate and the bit depth on them. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to do some videos with a bunch of different machines like that. I'm going to do the EMU, I'm going to do the SP1200, I'm going to do a bunch of rare samplers. I think that'd be kind of cool. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.